Hi guys, welcome to another video. This is Miracle Anderson from the keys. So this video is intentionally for beginners. Okay, so you have learned the basics now. You have learned things like scales, chords, and other basic stuffs, and then you now come to this level that you want to begin to score songs on your own. You don't know what to play next. Let's say we're having, okay, let's say somebody is singing a song, and then you don't know what to play next, or you're on the one and you can't tell if the next chord is a four or a five or a six, and secondly, you can't tell when to change the chord, even when you are given the chord progression. So let's say, for example, I gave you a chord progression and I said that a song is 4, 5, 6 chord progression, and then I'll give you the chord progression. Now it's left for you to know when to chip these chords in at the right time in the songs, but you still can't tell when to put them in, even when you have been given the chord progression. So this video is going to help us to understand the concepts that are called chord changes in songs, and it deals a lot with your ears a lot. So chord changes, when I teach my students, I bring it to their mind that chord changes is the ability for you to detect when there's a change between two or more chords. So for example, so let's say you were not the one that was on the keyboard, and then you heard, if you listen very well, I played two chords. You were not sitting here when I was playing this. You're not looking at the keyboard when my hand was changing, but by your ear you were able to hear when I changed the chord. So that is what chord changes is. So as a beginner who is trying to learn how to score songs, before you begin to even learn to score songs, you should first learn to know when chords are changing in a song. This is how I train my students both online and the ones we meet for practice. If you can't tell in a song when a chord is changing, then there's no need knowing the chord progression, because even when you know, you will not be able to know when to fix them in that song. So the chord changes is the ability for you to know when there's a change in the sound. Now, I'm not saying you should know when it's 4 or 5. I'm just saying you should know when there is a change in the sound. So that is what the chord changes. So the first thing I want to show to us is this. I will play different chord progression or different chords. Then you will only listen, and then guess how many times did I change chord. So here we go. Let me have the strings. Now, if you listen well to the chord progression, if you listen carefully, I was changing chords by chords, and if you listen well, now let me ask you, how many chord changes do you hear? That how many chords do you hear? I'm not saying you should tell me if it's the 1 or the 4 or the 5 or the 6 or the 2 or the 3. I'm only asking, how many times do you hear the change in these chords? If you say it's 1, you are wrong. If you say it's 2, you're wrong. If you say it's 3, you're wrong. But if you say it's 4, then you're correct. Because what I was playing is, this is the first chord, the second chord, the third chord, the fourth. Then I still went back to play the second progression. listen very well. If you say this 4, then you're doing well. But if you did not get it, let's try another example. Again. So, how many chords do you hear in that song? I'm waiting for you to finish thinking. Alright, so if you say it's 1 is wrong, if you say it's 2 is wrong, if you say it's 4, you're still wrong. But if you say it's 3, then you're correct because it's 3 chords that was playing in that chord progression. So, maybe later in the day I will create mini chord progression, and then I will post it to the page and our YouTube channel. The challenge here is if you are not in the beginners course that we're doing on WhatsApp, then the assignment is for you and you alone. But if you're in our lesson on WhatsApp, then you can do the assignment and send me the feedback. So the video I'll be dropping later after this is a series of different chord progression. Then it's left for you to tell how many chords you hear. Then if you can hear that, then we can proceed to the next lesson.